Thank you all for joining us. Next week is National Consumer Protection Week. And as many of you know, our office has major responsibility given to us by the General Assembly in regard to consumer protection. It's something that we take very, very seriously and something that we work on every day. And what I'd like to do today is make a few announcements and then open up for questions. A few announcements in regard to National Consumer Protection Week and our office. Before I do that, though, I would like to introduce Janine, who is the Ohio Consumer Counsel. We're delighted to be here with you and look forward to continuing that work. Kip Morris, the president of the Central Ohio Better Business Bureau, is here as well. Two partners of ours who we work with on cases that come into this office. We get a large number of consumer complaints every year, thousands and thousands. Our job is to try to sort those out, to try to figure out where the problems are, and to try to get resolution of the problems. And those cases where we cannot, the most egregious cases, to actually refer those to local county prosecuting attorneys. Let me introduce a key player in our team, and that is Sandy Linsky, who is the new chief for our consumer protection section. We're delighted to have Sandy on our team. And let me just tell you a little bit about Sandy. She's an experienced attorney with really an impressive background at both the Auditor of State's office and the Attorney General's office. So this is not the first time that she's been in this office. Sandy is an expert in motor vehicle issues and led this office's efforts in the litigation of high-profile cases such as the Ford Motor Company, Bridgestone Tire, multi-state litigation. Motor vehicles issues are the #1 complaint area for consumers who call our office. It's the #1 area of complaint. So we're fortunate to have her leading our consumer protection section. Delighted to have her. Let me say that consumer complaints are on the rise. Our office is getting more and more of these complaints, and we are committed to protecting families. That's what this office is about. That's what we try to do every single day. We looked at the complaints that came in, and last year in this office we received 32,000 complaints that we worked on, 32,000 complaints that we investigated. And one thing that frankly shocked me was that of those, only a dozen were actually referred to county prosecuting attorneys for criminal prosecution, and of those dozen, only 2 were actually prosecuted. We intend to change that. Not every consumer complaint should result in criminal prosecution. Far from it. Many times what we're dealing with, frankly, is a misunderstanding. And what our office does is we try to put people together and have them communicate and get the product delivered, service delivered, and many of these are resolved in that way without any filing at all. The next level is if there is fraud and we cannot get it resolved, or there is a violation of Ohio consumer law, and many times we're involved in litigation, civil litigation. The final area, though, is what I want to talk about for a moment, and that is cases that are very bad, where we have rip-off artists who are cheating the taxpayers. The law needs to serve as a deterrent. And when out of all those cases were only 2 that were criminally prosecuted, that is a problem. Our intention is to focus on this and to increase the number of criminal prosecutions. We want these to serve as a deterrent. Scam artist comes into town, has to pay money back, deals with a civil case, sometimes they look at that, frankly, as a cost of doing business. There are some of these individuals who, frankly, need to go to prison. And that brings me to my announcement today. I'm announcing that Jackson County Prosecuting Attorney Jonathan Blanton. Jonathan is joining the Consumer Protection Section of the Ohio Attorney General's office. Jonathan is a seasoned county prosecuting attorney with real-world experience, and I must tell you we're very delighted to have him with us. Jonathan will be working with our investigators to prepare cases that can be presented to local and county prosecuting attorneys. As you all know, the law provides, in regard to criminal prosecution, that these are dealt with at the local level. So our job, Jonathan's job, will be to prepare these cases, help work with our investigators so that when we turn it over to the local county prosecuting attorney, these cases are ready to move, and so that we can have more cases in the criminal area. We need to send a message to these bad actors that we're serious about bringing them to justice. Jonathan's wife, Susanna, is here. We're delighted to have you with us. His daughter, Nina, who has a beautiful hat on today, and his son, Vincent, who has a monster in his hand. I'm not sure. I asked him if the monster had a name, but he said no. But maybe it's just a fierce-looking frog. I want to now introduce Jonathan to share a few thoughts. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Pleased to be here. Good morning. My name is Jonathan Blanton. I'd like to thank Attorney General DeWine for giving me the opportunity to join the office. For the last 10 years, I've had the privilege of serving the people of Jackson County as their elected prosecutor. During that time, I've been in the trenches. I've tried cases and I've worked with local law enforcement investigators to put together cases that are solid and aimed toward bringing people toward justice. Attorney General DeWine has made a commitment to Ohio's consumers, and it's an honor to be a part of that. I look forward to joining the office. To work with Ohio's county prosecutors to present solid cases that are prosecution ready. Whatever they need, we're going to be there. We're going to give them good quality product so they can bring justice to the folks in their counties. Among the consumer fraud issues I'll be focusing on are identity theft, consumer crimes, and home improvement scams. I look forward to taking on the challenge of working on behalf of Ohio's consumers, representing the Attorney General's office, working closely with Sandy Linsky, my section chief, and the Attorney General, and bringing his vision for the consumer protection section into focus and bring folks to justice. My background as a county prosecutor, I know what it takes to run a case. I know by providing county prosecutors with cases that are ready to be prosecuted, we can move these things along. We can move the cases forward. We can bring more justice to more people throughout Ohio. I've been active with the Ohio Prosecuting Attorneys Association. I have connections with a lot of local county prosecutors. I've been where they are. I know what they do. And I know what it takes to make a case in an office run properly through the criminal justice system. As Attorney General DeWine said, a lot of the cases the section deals with do resolve themselves amicably. But there are going to be a certain number that don't. There are going to be a certain number of people who commit fraud, who commit theft, and cross the line. And when they do, the Attorney General's Office Consumer Protection Section is going to be there. We're going to work with the county prosecutors. We're going to protect Ohio citizens. It's an honor and a privilege. Thank you, Attorney General DeWine.
Jonathan, glad to have you on the team.
Thank you, Sandy. I look forward to working with you.
Jonathan, thank you very much. We're delighted to have an experienced prosecutor in this position. And just to reemphasize, our goal is to work with local prosecutors. These will not be our cases. These will be cases that we will hand to them. We want them to be in good shape. We want them to be cases that these local county prosecutors can take and can successfully prosecute, and we are ready to do that. Second announcement today has to do with the floods that have occurred in the state of Ohio. And some of our counties have had historic experience, or historically bad experience in the last few days. I think we all know that every time we have a natural disaster, like the recent floods, there are scam artists that move in. They move in and try to take advantage of the people who are victims of the tornado or the hurricane or the winds or the hail or in this case, the flooding. We need to remind Ohioans to beware of the unscrupulous people who inevitably move in after a natural disaster. Ohioans should be wary of contractors who show up on their doorsteps unexpectedly, who fail to provide proper identification, who demand advance payment, who don't have a permanent business address, or who pressure them for an immediate decision. Ohio consumers who shop around, check references, and get everything in writing are less likely to add to their losses. Third, I want to share that every year thousands of complaints, including those about contractors, pour into the Attorney General's Consumer Protection section. This section, as I said, received 32,000 complaints in 2010. That was a record high. Many people ask us what are the top complaints, and so we have put together a chart, which is right over here, which lists the top complaints, and those are going down in order. The most frequent is motorized vehicles, collection crediting, all the way down to utilities complaints. This kind of gives you a broad outline, and it's kind of a report to the public of what we've received over the last year. I would remind everyone that to file a complaint, to access our office, consumers should call toll-free at 1-800-282-0515, or they can go online at ohioattorneygeneral.gov. Greet everyone, and third place winner Corey Baker and James Tabor from, you're going to give me the pronunciation of the high school, guys.
Tune Valley.
And we'll receive scholarships for their entry. Up here, stand up here, guys. Congratulations. Around here. Little picture there. Those. Nice little lips. All right. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it very much. Second place winner is Jordan Work from Medina County Career Center, and Jordan will receive a $1,500 scholarship for his entry. Congratulations. Tell them what your video was.
It was a 30-second video about the reading the fine print in making your purchases. So.
What are you going to do next year?
Next year, I'm considering joining the Coast Guard Reserve's Public Affairs Office in Cleveland.
What do you guys tell them what you're going to do? Stand up.
Well,
what
I'm
you
going
guys
to. What's that? Ah.
Well, here, come on up here. Come on up here. Come on. That'll make you work here. Come on. The teacher is coming out of me again. Come on.
I'll tell you, it's weird being in front of the camera.
Tell about your video. Tell about the video.
Well, we made a 30-second video about taking action against consumer fraud, about reporting it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else there's to say. That's pretty much it.
We tried a new technique with it, and we were really happy with the result, and overall it's been a really fun project to do, and we're really happy to be here.
You're still awake?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Good. What are you going to do next year?
I'm going to be going to Youngstown State University to join the telecommunications program, and I'm really excited about that. Actually, I just signed up for my classes.
Great. That's great.
And I plan on going to Newmont University in Utah for game programming and development.
That's where the money is, huh? Good. We're proud of you. First place winner, Billy Ludendowski and Todd Thompson, also from Piedmont Tuning Valley High School, will receive a $2,500 scholarship for their video. It's good to be true. It probably is. All right, tell me about the video. What's the video like?
Well, I star in the video. It's about, I'm on the internet, and then I get this internet ad. It says that I've won a free iPod, and then I go about it. I put in my personal information, and I click the mouse, and then the next morning, it's a real fast sequence of me waking up, getting dressed, like drinking my coffee, real fast paced, and then I go to the gas station, and I go to use my credit card.
All in 30 seconds now, guys.
And then it says it's been denied, and then we give all the information on how to contact the Ohio Attorney General's office.
Very good. What are you going to do next year?
We're actually pursuing the same major. We're going to Youngstown State University for marketing management.
Great. All right, we'll get a picture here.
You said there were only,
Welcome to talk to these young people. Or,
I'm sorry, you said there were 12 cases set to prosecutors last year. What happened to the rest of them?
The way it works is if we get a very egregious case, really bad case, and we make a decision that this should be criminally prosecuted or highly criminally prosecuted, the law provides this goes to a local prosecutor. We refer it to a local prosecutor. I went back when I took office, just pulled the numbers, had them pull the numbers. 12 cases last year were actually referred to prosecutors. For whatever reason, local prosecutors decided only 2 of those cases to actually prosecute. So what we're going to do, Jonathan's going to head this up, is to work with our investigators so these cases are fully prepared from a prosecutor's point of view when we hand them to the prosecutors. They will then take those cases, and of course it will be up to them whether they prosecute. But these are historically tough cases. These are not easy cases. You get a question of always the intent. What is the intent of the person? Did they just not were unable to fulfill the contract, etc. So these are not easy cases. They're specialized cases. And so we will try to work these cases up. We also, our special prosecution unit will be available if a local county prosecuting attorney wants us to come in and try the case. We will be able to try that case. And we can do that, but again, that will have to be with the invitation. It would be with the invitation of local prosecutors.
What was the subject of the cases that were referred to prosecutors? Was it home improvement scams, or what was it involving?
I don't have those figures. Does anybody here have those?
Yes, they were home improvement scams.
Stand up and tell them.
Yes, they were home improvement scams.
All 12?
No, not all 12 of them, but most of them were. Basically, where the intent is that Attorney General was discussing was if somebody takes somebody's money and does no work at all. Sometimes you get home improvement people come in and they'll do a little bit of the work, it's shoddy work, they'll show up one day, but then they never come back. It's difficult to prove the intent that they meant to defraud.
But not impossible.
But not impossible.
But
Those
not
are the tough
impossible.
cases that Jonathan's going to take.
Yeah.
So that's why the prosecutors sometimes don't take them. With Jonathan on board now, it's going to be a better case to present to the local prosecutors. Sometimes the smaller counties don't have the resources to prosecute those cases. So what the Attorney General wants to do is, we'll provide you with a prosecutor. Name Jonathan as a special prosecutor, and we'll come in and prosecute those cases in your counties. And so we've never been able to do that before, but now we will be able to do it.
I think the other thing, we have good investigators who are experienced, who have done this. What this is going to do is put a focus from day one on these cases. Gee, this might be a criminal prosecution. Okay, how are we going to investigate it? How are we going to focus on it? So Jonathan is going to be in that unit and available as an experienced prosecutor to work with the investigators and to see which of these cases actually should turn out to be criminal prosecutions.
Are you actually increasing staffing and resources in the consumer protection section, or just changing staffing?
I'd have to look at the numbers. I'm not sure. Does anybody know those numbers?
Both. We're doing both. What we're doing is we're bringing on the prosecutors, the criminal prosecutors, because historically consumer protection has been civil prosecutions, which is what our statute gives us, civil prosecution authority, not criminal. That's why the Attorney General was referring to, we have to go to the local prosecutors for that.
Well,
But then we will have, I'm sorry, Attorney General.
okay.
We have 2 former investigators who are now at organized crime, and it hasn't been decided whether they'll be coming back into consumer or if we'll get some additional investigators. So it's both. We're hiring new and using resources we already have.
Who else?
You said that you're seeing an increase in consumer complaints. Do you think that's because there's more bad actors, or there's just more education among the public to know how to report it?
I really have no way of knowing that. I don't know. And again, I've only been in office for a short period of time. These numbers are looking back numbers. These were last year. We don't really have, haven't been in office long enough to see any kind of trends since we've been in office.
Gray areas like mortgage servicers that aren't reading through their foreclosure documents, or pay lenders that may be kind of using legal ways to skirt the law that was passed a couple
Sure.
years ago.
I mean, we're not excluding anything. No one should misunderstand what we're saying today. We're going to continue to do what this office has done, and this office has done a good job under Democrat and Republican Attorney Generals, and that is to be vigorous in the area of consumer fraud. As a former prosecutor, what I think I bring to this is that experience. When I first looked at the numbers and did a quick review of where we were, the things stood out to me that we were not doing, was doing a very good job in helping local county prosecuting attorneys prosecute these cases. These are tough cases, but they're not impossible cases. It is a criminal, as we said, a criminal intent issue, and sometimes these artists are pretty good at trying to disguise what the intent is. Jonathan's job is to cut through that and make some examples. We intend to make some examples of some bad people.
So lucrative, and nobody comes looking for them. We just, in this country, had the largest Wall Street fraud case that this country has ever seen, and yet nobody's gone to jail. Why should a scammer in Ohio think anybody's going to come looking for them?
Yeah, well, because we're putting the people, we're putting a focus on it, which should be the first warning, and we're going to go after them. I was in Washington yesterday dealing with Fannie Mae case, where Ohio has filed a lawsuit. It was filed 4 attorney generals ago, and we're vigorously pushing that case. It's a 6-year-old case. We had people who cooked the books. CEO of the company took income of $92 million, and he took that by cooking the books and making it look like they were making more money than they were. And who lost out? Anybody who belongs to PERS in the state of Ohio. Anybody who belongs to STIRS in the state of Ohio. We're going after them, and we're going to vigorously continue that case.
So he'll settle that case for $200,000 fine and not go to jail.
Well, I don't have criminal jurisdiction over him. So, I can only do what we can do. And what we're going to do is try to make them pay and pay a lot.